Hi there, it's Sally from Rickety Snippets here, and today I've got another Plague Doctor folio for you. So a lot of you have been in touch to ask for Plague Doctor printables, so I made a mini folio, and you all seem to really like that, so I thought I'd make a maxi folio as well. So the printables for this folio are available in the Rickety Snippets shop, and I've printed everything onto 160 GSM cardstock as usual. And I've cut out all the bits. So first thing to do is to gather the bits for the folio itself. So this is going to be the front cover and the back cover. We've got a kind of steampunk Plague Doctor on the front there. And this is an inside page. We also need two flaps, so these two pages. And I'm just going to sweep everything else out of the way for the time being. Okay, so I'm going to start by sticking these together. So we want to attach this piece to the edge of this piece. Just clear away the cat hairs. In the intermission, one of the cats came and walked over the whole thing. They'd like to get involved. So I'm just going to start by putting a bit of glue on this flap here. And lots of glue right up to the line. And then stick that together. Put too much glue on there, but it's good to have a lot of glue on this bit because that's where the fold is going to be. So this is going to be a fold out page. So you want that really well stuck along there. That one, and then this one, I'm going to put the glue here, and we're going to go right up to this first line. So on this flap, and this bit's got pattern on it, because if there isn't pattern, then you end up with a lot of white showing when you make your folds. So again, really concentrating on that, putting glue right up to that line. I'm just going to stick that down. And slightly, I'm leaving that line exposed a little bit, so we know where to make our score lines. Way too much glue. But it wouldn't be fun without a bit of mess, would it? There we are. So I'm going to put glue all the way around the edges. I'm going to use this is collal glue on the edges. I'm quite generous. And then I'm going to use the glue stick in the middle. I haven't done this before this way, but I think it might be quite good because this collal glue dries quite quickly. So if you try and do the whole thing, sometimes I don't get a good stick. So I think the glue stick will help with that. I also like to really make sure the edges are well stuck. I know some people use tape for that, the double-sided tape, so that could be another option. I do find that a bit fiddly. So I'm going to stick those two together now, and if, like me, you have a bit of a blind spot when it comes to getting the pages upside down, so you obviously want to check they're set the right way up, but you want it so that both these extra pages are back to back. Okay, so they match like that. And then just line them up. And because the glue stick is a little bit kind of wetter, it's got more water in it than the collage glue. I'm just going to leave that to dry for a little bit before I make my score lines. While that's drying, I'm going to make up this pocket. So I need these two pieces and this piece. So it's going to be a pocket with a flap coming down over the top. Can make sense once I put it together. So I'm going to score this piece along this line in the middle here. So along there, and I'm going to score this piece around the edges of the image, on the sides of the flaps. Yeah, so I've folded those in, just run the bone folder over them. And then this piece I'm going to fold in half, so I'm going to fold it in to the pattern, the image, like that. And then this piece goes back to back with the purple piece. So I'm going to turn that over, and then that should just sit nicely on top of there. So I'm going to line it up with that line that we just made. I'm going to put a little bit of ink along that line. And then glue all over that piece. And stick this piece down. So it should just sit nicely on that line, and then you can check the bottom to see whether the two are lining up, if we've got any overhangs, which isn't bad. I'm just going to trim sides here a little bit of a overhang. Okay, so the folio is pretty dry now. I'm not sure I love that glue stick. It has warped it a little bit, I think. So I don't know, might stick to the collage glue. So what we need to do now is make some score lines here and here and here and here. So I'm going to score along those lines, and then I'm going to bring the side of the folio up and just run my finger along the ruler, so you get a really good fold there. And for the next one, I'll do the same again, but I think I'll probably have to use my bone folder to bring it up into the ruler. Go. And the same on this side. You can put it into shape a little bit. There we go. And then I'm just going to trim any overhangs around the edges. Yeah, and then I might ink those as well at some point, but I'll leave that for now. Okay, so what we need, so we're going to stick up the pocket that we've made in, and I'm just going to put a belly band here. So the belly band lines up with the pattern on that page. like that. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue on the top and the bottom. And stick it down. And then for the middle here, we're just going to take this piece and stick that in place. Yes, it should all line up with that image. So I want to turn this into a pocket as well. So I'm just going to put glue on both sides. Nothing on the bottom. It's going to be a really nice deep pocket. And then I'm going to stick that in place. That's it. I think I'm going to go back to this and add a little bit more teal to the bottom here. So yours might be slightly different. So I'll probably come down to about here with a bit of teal, just so that you've got a bit more inside this pocket and you won't be able to see the white. Okay, so some glue on the flaps of this pocket. Line that up at the bottom there. I'm going to put some ephemera in that pocket. So we've got some plague doctors and a cabinet of medicines and potions, and skull and a cross on a door there, which was the mark, wasn't it? If anyone inside had the plague, they put a red cross on the door. So I'm just going to put those in there. And then we can put some in here as well at the top. So I had a couple of longer bits, so another plague doctor and a skull bookmark there. So I'll put those in there. That. And then on the belly band, I think I'm going to use, I've got a couple of fussy cuts. So another plague doctor, there's a lamp. Perhaps this one too. The cross. A little sign, one of these plague sign or numbers. Might have those three together. A number might look quite good on there. Yeah, let's have that on there. There we are. So I've got them overhanging a little bit there. So if you do the same, just make sure you haven't got any glue that's going to stick it to the folio. I obviously have got a little bit of glue there. There we go. We can put something behind that too. a little journaling card in there. Yeah. Okay, and then come back to this page because I'm going to make a kind of paperclip waterfall, I suppose you could call it, like a staggered paperclip piece. And then on the back here, so not on that final flap, but on the back of the folio, thought I'd have a pocket down here somewhere. I'm just going to put some glue along the sides and along the bottom again. And then I'm going to put some ephemera on there too. Across this little document, like that. Yeah, number. Quite like that. I think I might cut a bit off that though, it's a bit long. Yeah. Yeah, do that. Kind of make it staggered like that, so it's not actually just sitting on the pocket. There. Great, I think I might have inked that if I'd thought about it beforehand, but anyway, it's all right. And then we could put something in there. Maybe this, I like this tag, it's kind of grave shaped, but yeah, another one of our clay doctors. Anyway, play about with that. So all there is left to do then is to make this paperclip waterfall. I don't know if that's what I want to call it, but there we are. So for the paperclip stack, we're going to need this handwritten piece of paper, and then these, 3 of these, and these 2 little fussy cuts, which are going to be a tab on the top, and these, which are going to hold the paperclip. So the first thing I'm going to do is just make some score lines. So we need to score down the center of this piece, down this line here that separates these 2, and along this line for each of these pieces. Okay, so I've folded them all in half, and I'm going to take this piece. It's up to you what you want to do with this, because you could have it as a pocket so that you stick things in through the sides, or 2 pockets. You could put a line down the middle so you've got 2 shortish pockets, but I'm actually just going to seal mine up all together. Go. And then, so we're going to put our first paper clip on. So I'm going to take this piece and put it over the top, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue so it can still function as a paper clip, but then it's stuck to the top there. So just a little bit, just on that fold, or just slightly either side of the fold. And then I'm going to put that over the top in the center and stick it down. There, so it's only held by that very top bit there. And then I'm going to put a paper clip over the top. Like that. If your paper clips are longer than these, you can always put them at a slight angle like that. These are they're fairly standard size paper clips. Okay, and then next I'm going to put some glue all over the top here and a lot around the paper clip. But just being really careful not to go onto this back piece, because we want that to be able to move. And then I'm just going to get a little bit of washi tape and stick it over the paper clip. So you could use double-sided tape or just a little bit of paper if you like. Go. And then I'm going to put glue back on top of that tape, which is where the double-sided tape is handy, so you don't have to do that then. Here we are. So, and then I'm going to put this one, so the one with the fold in it, over the top of the whole thing. Push it right into the fold. That. And then hold it down. It's stuck. There we are. And then open it up. What I did mean to do actually before I did that, is put a little bit of ink on these bits that are going to overhang, so that they don't scream white at us. On that side, and the same for this side. Yeah. And then I'm going to do the same on this piece. So glue all the way around the edge of this white piece. Lots of glue over the paper clip. And then I'm going to cover it with washi tape. So leave that to dry a little bit. So for the next one, I'm going to take another one of these, paper clip on top, and then I'm just going to stick that straight down onto that background. So I'll stuck that down. It's just a little bit higher than the middle. What you can do is just get your pieces and make sure they're all going to fit on. So there, I'm going to have another one there. So that's fine. There it is. And then same thing again. Glue all over, and then I'm going to put some washi tape over this side before I stick down that top piece. And before I stick that down, I'm just going to put a little line of glue right on the very top. That piece. And then I'm going to stick that down onto the paper, that very top bit. And then just press down the rest of it. And then just do the same thing again for the bottom one. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. There we go. So it's a little bit less to work with this one because it's a bit shorter. But just make sure it's covering that white piece underneath. There we are. So that then sits in the folio. You can have it whatever way round you like, but I quite like it. So you pull this over the top. So you've got that hanging over this side, and then this side you've got your full of stack. And then I've got this bookmark piece, which I think would look nice tucked under there. Let's tuck some of the other ephemera there too. Quite like it with just that one hanging down. And then on this side, I could do with a bit of a trim there, but I've got some of these pieces. We've got a quote here from Samuel Pepys about witnessing the red crosses on the doors, so from his own diaries. There's a little quote under there. Skulls. Gluey, this one. Yeah, under there. And another cabinet of medicines. Go there. There we are. Also, all we've got to do now is to stick these bits on. I'll take it back off of there when we do that. So this is a kind of tab for the top. So I'm just going to put some glue on the bottom of this one. Oops. Stick it on the top there. Crown that skull like that. And then flip it over. Put some more on the top here. And I'm going to put some on the bottom of this one as well. And then just match them up on the top there. Hold that in place, and once that's dry, I'll make a nice kind of tab on the top there. So I think I've got some inking to do and a bit of trimming, but I think that's it really. So I'm going to put it back to this page. And that one over there. So let's have a look. That's the inside pages. So that one tucks into there, and that over the top. Got a front cover with our tab sticking out over the top there. Our back page with some pockets. And so there's some more bits of ephemera here that I haven't found places for yet, but I'm sure you'll find somewhere to use them all. So that's it. I really hope you have fun with it, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.